What is up guys, I hope you're well and welcome to more Entitled Parents. As always, I'd like to thank you for being here. Welcome to the new subscribers. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, maybe even the notification bell if you want to keep updated with the channel, and joining our Discord. Let's get started. EM allows kid to use my inhaler. I have CF, which is a disease kind of like asthma. The main point is that I have an inhaler that I keep on the high shelf in my closet. A few weeks ago, a party was hosted at my house and a few parents were invited. Someone, EM, brought their maybe 4 or 5-year-old son. Here's what happened. So the kid, EK, goes into my room and of course I follow him so I know if he screws anything up. EK points at the stuffed animals in my closet. Can I use one? Yeah, sure. I open the closet door and hand the kid a few stuffed animals and I leave the door open. Then I leave my room and I assume he would just play with the toys. I was wrong. I go back into the room after about 10 minutes and see the kid and his mum, but the kid has my inhaler. Kid, you shouldn't have that, it's mine. Why are you so selfish? Just because it's yours, it doesn't mean other people can't have it. But it's my inhaler. Yeesh, why are you so overprotective over a stupid toy? Because I need it to help my disease, and it's not a toy. How did you even get that thing? Oh, he pointed at the toy thing and said he wanted it, so I got it for him. Well, I really need it back. No, just let EK play with it. EK starts mashing the button on my inhaler. Don't do that! And tries to take it away and fails. Hey, stop it! That stupid button doesn't even do anything. Actually, it dispenses fluid that helps me breathe and is very expensive to replace. And I don't care. In fact, I'll take the toy home with us. I go downstairs and tell my mum. So my mum was able to get the inhaler from EK and what my EM did was hilarious. Mum gets the inhaler. Hey, give that back to EK. No, he should not have it. No, it's EK's toy. EK's decision. Go now. I cannot deal with how stupid you are. If you don't give it back to him, I will call the police for theft. And that was the most stupid thing I ever heard. Eventually we got EM and EK to leave, but that was just so annoying. Really? We had like an inhaler story the other day, but this one's like even worse. A stupid mother who just still thinks it's a toy even though the child is telling him that's a medical thing for his disease. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes you wonder if they're believable or not, but triggers me. I want your dead child's Xbox. This is not my main, okay? Also, I'm on mobile, so yeah. Background, my best friend had just passed away, and this was long ago, so sorry if some details are added or left out. Entitled parent, BFM best friend's mum, me. Note, at the same time, we're still shocked at the incident. I'm sorry for yours loss. Thank you, EP. No problem, but since your son passed away, you have no excuse to keep this Xbox thing, so my son can have it. Me and BFM made the most disgusted and most disappointed face at EP. What the hell? Get the fuck out of my house. Oh, come on, please. Get the hell out of here. EP quickly ran out of the house and BFM haven't seen EP since. Oh my god. Really? Some people just unbelievable with what they can say. I mean, this is a short story, but this is like one of the most trigger ones I've ever seen. Like a dead friend and instantly people trying to claim their shit. Fucking hell. EM called me fat for not letting her son have any fries. This all started in 7th grade when I was 13. I was at McDonald's with a couple of friends to have lunch after school. We all sit and waited after we finally get our food, and so we started eating and talking until EK grabs one of my fries. I just stare at him for a bit until he goes to EM. EM, excuse me young man, is it okay if we have some of those fries? Sorry man, but this is my food and your son can't have any of it. Just so you know, my friends and I have been looking forward to having lunch together for months. The EM starts getting irritated. I'm sick and tired of all you fat people just eating everything. Have you thought about going on a fucking diet? My friend starts defending me. Look who's talking. You're built like Miley Cyrus's wrecking ball. We all start to laugh and eventually she leaves, but without saying this. Whenever you sit down, try not to make an earthquake. Oh my word. Imagine if you had a child and this child goes up to someone's plate and takes some food and eats it. Would you then go over and say, oh, my child likes that, can they have some more of that? What the hell? No! Fuck off! Buy your own, Jesus Christ. Give my son your Nintendo Switch now, or else. High Fresh, Bumfries, Misery Box, and Geophil. Jesus. And Daddy cringe. I'm still new to posting onto this, so here we go. So this happened yesterday, so I wanted to share the story today. I was on the way to a date. Surprisingly, she accepted. I took the bus. I sat next to a kid who seemed around 8 to 9 years old, who was filthy. I had no choice, but go sit next to him. I pulled out Nintendo Switch to kill time while I arrived at my bus stop. The kid was watching me play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I didn't mind him watching me play until he attempted to grab my Switch with his filthy hands, so I turned the other way and heard him whisper to his dad, "Dad, may I play that man's Nintendo Switch?" The dad replied, "Sure son, you can play with whatever you want." The kid faced me with a grin on his face as he proceeded to grab my Switch. I saw his hand about to touch my Switch, so I moved it away from him. He started complaining, saying, "My dad said I was allowed, so give it to me now." I was annoyed and decided to pack it away. The kid got upset and said, "Dad, this man won't let me play his Nintendo Switch." The dad looked at me and said, "Dude, just let my son play your Nintendo Switch or you'll be facing some serious problems." The kid was smiling, thinking I was going to hand it to him. I just laughed at him and simply said, "No." The kid began to cry. "Give me the game! Give me the game! Give me the game!" He was getting angry and started raising his voice. "Give my son your Nintendo Switch or else." I told him I'm in no mood in arguing and fighting. I'm on my way to a date. He was laughing and responded, "With your ugly looking ass, I really doubt you're on your way to a date, bud. Just give my son your Nintendo Switch now." The bus was near my stop and I told him, "Dude, just go and buy your son the console. It isn't even that much. If I had to risk this date, I would love to wrestle you. I wrestled since I was 6 years old. I was in varsity all 4 years in high school, so this guy doesn't scare me." I saw my stop coming near and said to the kid, "Do you want to play my Switch?" He said yes while wiping the tears off. I said, "Go buy one yourself." I quickly exited the bus, turned to look at him and he was crying even more, and his dad stood up and to chase after me. The bus door closed and I saw the man at the door. I waved at him as he was filled with rage. For those who want to know how my date went, she accepted. Hope you enjoyed this. Karma's an ice cold bitch. Okay, so this is my first post. Made this account just to tell this. Okay, so my best friend has a service dog. It's like they summon entitled parents. And it snowed that night before, so there's ice everywhere. I was with her when this happened. So my friend and I and her service dog, calling her Max for my friend's anonymity, were walking to the coffee shop before exams that day. Max had her vest on, which obviously says, "Do not pet, I'm working." Of course, this summons entitled mum and entitled brat from their void of existence, and immediately entitled brat, who's probably 7, "Can I pet this dog?" My friend was like, "No, she's a service dog and she's working right now." Entitled brat starts crying, obviously, and I'm just like, this is totally going on Reddit. I didn't expect mum to actually go full entitled parent, because this is in a very public street, and you would think that since our entitled parents has been gaining a huge ass following, entitled parents would calm down and not make fools of themselves. Nope. This woman starts to berate my friends for telling her kid no. My friend and I are just like, this ain't worth it, and we start walking away. The two started following us a bit, so I walked behind my friend and Max to act like a little bit of a barrier between them and the entitled bitches. Well, remember how I mentioned it was really icy out that day? There was still a lot of ice on the sidewalk, and when this kid tried to run around me to get to the dog, he slips on the ice and falls on his face. I don't think he was really hurt that bad, but he started crying his eyes out and his mother just screams, "You pushed him! I saw you push him, you heartless bitch! He's just a fucking kid!" This woman tries to run up and grab me, but hilariously she slips on some ice too and falls flat on her face as well. My friend and I took the opportunity to get the fuck out. We finally got to the coffee shop and Max got a cup of whipped cream, and I spent the entire exam trying not to laugh at the mum and son slipping. Yeah, that is karma. That must have been hilarious watching those two slip over. EM thinks it's okay for her kids to drown me. First, before I begin, I wanted to let you know this was about 6 years ago, so I probably don't remember all the details, but this is what I remember the most. Also, I found this subreddit thanks to some YouTubers, such as QStar and probably Daddy Cridge. This is also my first ever post. So here we go. About 6 years ago when I was in first grade, and about 6 or 7, I'm now 13, I was with Jay, my best friend at the time, and we were at the local swimming pool for my birthday. It wasn't a big party, just my friend and I along with some presents and a cake. This was before we could open up the presents and eat cake, so Jay and I were swimming. We're doing normal things kids do when at a swimming pool, such as splash each other, open our eyes underwater, doing cannonballs, etc. We're having a blast, laughing and doing our own thing while Mum was probably texting or doing something. I don't remember. It was fun. This is until they walked in. Enter in EM and her 2 children, EC1 and EC2. Jay and I were originally alone at the pool, and even though we didn't mind another 2 kids being there, it would be kind of annoying how we would have to share the small pool with more people. We see EM putting sunscreen on her children, getting them their floaties and pool toys and such. Jay and I were doing cannonballs when the kids jumped in the pool, so my mum told me to stop doing cannonballs so I wouldn't accidentally hit one of the ECs. I, being the rebellious child I am, decided to do one more cannonball. Nothing bad happened. I jumped into the pool, make a huge splash, and head over to the ladder so I can climb up. I put my foot on the ladder when all of a sudden EC1 jumps on my back and starts pushing my body downward. Now, even though these kids were probably a year younger than me, I was too scared to do anything. I tried to swim upwards, but with the weight of another kid on my back, I found it hard to get up. I tried to breathe at any point I could get. I was also panicking because this was the first time I had any experience of not being able to breathe. Luckily, Jay noticed what was going on and started to scream at my mum. Once my mum realised what was going on, she headed over to stop EC1 from killing me. My mum pulls the kid off me gently and puts him back in the water. Since I was free, I run out of the water, sit on a beach chair and cry, gasping for breath. This is when things start to get crazy. EM gets out of her beach chair and storms over to Jay and my mum. "Did you just attack my child?" "I'm sorry, ma'am. I was just trying to get your child off my son, because if I didn't, she might have killed him. They were on his back, pushing him underwater, and he could have drowned." "How dare you accuse EC1 of doing that? She would never hurt him. They were just playing." "Then why is my son over there crying and ran out of the water as soon as he could?" "He's just being a baby. Nothing bad happened and no one hurt him. He's completely fine, aren't you?" She looks at me, expecting me to say I'm fine or something, but I just sit there crying. After EM finds out she's not going to get an answer from me, she continues yelling. This is when EC2 comes into play, strolling over to me while Mum is screaming at the top of her lungs. EC2 sits on the beach chair next to me while I'm still crying. I don't remember exactly what was said, but I remember her calling me a baby and saying I'm stupid and such. While this is going on, I'm just trying to zone out and not have to listen to anything. From what I remember, the conversation went on for about 5 more minutes of her claiming we attacked their child for no reason. And then she even tried to blame me and saying I was the one who was trying to drown EC1. Eventually, EM had had enough and decided to leave. She screamed at her kids to pack their stuff, said that they would go to a different pool that didn't have idiots running around, and that would probably traumatised her children. We were happy she left, and as soon as I regained my composure, we continued along with the party like normal. Hello, hope you enjoyed my post. Once again, this is my first post on Reddit. Let me know if you have any problems with my posts, such as it doesn't belong on this subreddit or the title is misleading. Oh my god. It's really strange because I get so many flashbacks. Like when I'm a bad swimmer. I swim like a brick. And one day I was jumping with my friends in the deep end, like because peer pressure. I didn't want to admit that I couldn't swim, so I was jumping in with my friends. And then at the same time, one of my friends jumped on my back, and I basically just went under. Luckily, one of my other friends saved me, but yeah, flashbacks, man.